Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. I'm so excited to be doing this workshop today. So, this is the Lemurian Age channel healing and channel message. So, let me first briefly talk to you about the message that I've recently got connected with the Lemurian Healing Council. So they have been working with every one of the light workers and light leaders and bringing in the wisdom of crystal. As you know, we are going through a deeper purge, and Mother Gaia, she is beautifully upgrading her consciousness from 3D to 5D. And you would have heard of Lemurian age, Lemurian root races, Lemuria, Atlantis, but what is actually Lemurian age? And why are this Lemurian age now coming into life to support our healing process? So these were some of the questions that I had, and the Lemurian Council have actually explained to me. So I've put it down in a slide for you we'll go through this slide together. So today's session is going to be, I'll do a bit of sharing that what I've channeled through from the Lemurian Age Council, and we will go into our healing and activation. So let's go into what is Lemuria and why was it considered a sacred era of deep spiritual awareness. So the humanity who was living in the Lemurian age, they were working closely. So nature was part of their environment. First, we need to go out to nature, and we're feeling so stressed, and we go into the nature to relax ourselves and come back home. But they were among the nature. Nature was integrated to the way of their life, and they were living very closely with the rhythm of the earth, close to all the elements and also the nature. And they had high intuition, and they were actually vibrating at a higher level. So this is what I was actually shown. People in Lemurian age, they were already resonating at 5D and more, fifth dimensional consciousness. And with the downfall of Lemuria, what happened is that a lot of crystals went into a sleep mode. So these crystals are actually being activated now, and they're coming in to support humanity as humanity is driving into the 5D consciousness. So people had a lot of intuition, and they were attuned to energy and subtle energy as well. So, and they were among the nature, okay? And they were living so much in harmony. Life was simple, but they had profound reverence to every form of conscious life. So this goes into plant kingdom, animal kingdom. They were living with the rhythm of nature, which is very disconnected now as well. And they did understand the crystal earth properties, and they use crystal as the way of their life. So this is what living in harmony with nature was. So in Lemurian consciousness, the nature was not separate from humanity. And the earth herself was actually honored, and she was a wise, sacred, breathing being. So people were worshipping her. And what I saw was they were doing a lot of earth rituals. They were so connected with nature, um, and there was so much of earth magic, profound earth magic. They were working with crystals, the mineral kingdom. This is where the mineral kingdom, it's crystal is a part of mineral kingdom, so it's actually currently being awakened to support our consciousness. And also the sun, the moon, the oceans, the plants, animal were all revered as living teachers. They were living together, and they're living in harmony. Okay, and also that feminine rhythm of natural cycles were woven into daily sacred life. Like women were slaving in their menstrual cycle was actually syncing back to the moon cycle. So they were doing a lot of practices, and they were also using crystals to actually support them. So they go into the phases of rest, regenerate, and also a phases. So they were working through, and this was in alignment with the moon. And the intelligence of Earth was actually trusted, listened to, and honored. Um, let's move on. So this was a channel guidance that I received from the Lemurian Healing Council. So Lemurian Healing Council, they are actually energy beings. They're just luminous energy being, and they have a very high frequency and vibration and pure consciousness. So they are actually coming in to support us of our healing and balance, remembrance, and connection. So their guidance will actually restore what was actually fragmented within our energetic body. We should remember that this is not the one lifetime that we have actually lived or walked this planet Earth. There were many, many life forms and many lifetimes. And some of us would resonate with Lemuria as well. So I was taken into one of my past life where I was being a Lemurian crystal gatekeeper. So like that, many of us were very well, working very closely with crystals in Lemurian age. And they used crystal as a way of life. So this means like, they were doing it for healing, for manifestation, and some of them were actually using that to conduct electricity. And family-owned crystal. What I was shown is like they were shown crystal trees, and people were actually worshipping these crystal trees. So each lineage and ancestry had a crystal tree. So, and crystals were then treated as precious as diamond. So you would know how important is this for them, each one of them, to have a crystal and belong to the lineage of that as well. So, coming back to remembrance, so we all hold the living memory of an original crystalline blueprint within our soul. So, this is where we are actually activating the light. So, part of this Lemurian Healing Consult is to help us to raise our vibration and frequency so that we can tap into our crystalline energy, our crystalline blueprint. And this is also an invitation to reconnect the wisdom which already lived within us. And how was crystals then used? So crystals were not just objects or living tools. They were actually honored as a living tool of high frequency. They had this consciousness and purpose. So they were using it in geometric forms, and they were used strongly to amplify the wishes and manifestation, and also used to heal diseases in their bodies. So they could maintain always a balance in life. So they didn't have like physicians then, but they were using these natural healing tools so that the life was always balanced. They were in bliss. They were balanced with all the elements within themselves. So the crystals not only help you to raise your frequency and vibration, they amplify and transmit. So you can actually work with a crystal to actually magnify your intention and also channel healing energy to the body and to the also Mother Gaia. And you can also set up your crystals to protect and align with whatever you're bringing in to your reality. So the crystals were also used in ceremonial magic. They were used for energetic protection and also higher communication. And I have actually used crystal as well. This is going back one of my early times when I started healing, started working on my energy. The first thing that I was resonated or I got drawn into was crystals. So one of the first modalities that I learned was actually crystal, being a crystal practitioner. But I never knew that I had a lifetime in Lemuria then. And they always say, one of my teachers actually did say, you go into a shop and you think you bought a crystal, but the crystal actually chooses you. So, and this is where once we learn how to work with crystals, um, we program them and we ask them for protection, for healing, and also use them as a manifestation too. Okay, so I wanted to show all of you that is a single terminated clear quartz crystal. I'm sure some of you can see that. This is one of the crystal wands that I have been using for many, many years, just on my healing, my journey, healing my emotions, healing my chakras, and also I use this with the work that I do. So one thing that I was actually shown while I was channeling this is that the Lemurians had a practice of full moon crystal tradition. So they were actually amplifying these crystals. They were living these crystals in nature in the full moon. So they were trapping this energy and they were using this as a day of life for their connection and purposes. So we will be using later on this crystal when we go into our healing. We'll be using to clear any energetic um, resonance which is not sitting very well with our energy field. We'll be using this to, so clear quartz crystal, it's a magnifier, right? So we program these crystals because you need to know how to work with them. You need to program this crystal to remove any static energy and also bring you into alignment. And they are a very good healing tool. And they work on your chakras amazingly. So this is one of my preferred tool. I've been always using crystals. And they are a good tool for cleansing as well. They release the density, amplifies the natural radiant light. One of the things that how I work is I leave my crystals after a healing session just in Mother Nature for the crystal to absorb the properties. Like I was just doing this unknowingly. I felt that because the crystals were from the mineral kingdom, so I was just transmuting and leaving that in the nature so that it was like, clearing itself, reprogramming. Sometimes it's also best to leave where it could absorb a lot of sun's energy. It's very potent as well. And let's move on. Okay, so this was what I was actually shown as actually humanity drifted into from Lemurian Atlantean time. They started forgetting their connection with crystals. They started being not in sync with nature and living with the Mother Gaia. They pretty much they disconnected, right? Um, so what happened? The veil actually grew thicker. When I talk about the veil is actually your remembrance to use these crystals. And when we don't have the connection with Mother Earth, as I told you, this is where our intuition, our subtle energies, we start bringing in, we start tapping into the nature. And when our body and our chakras are clear instrument and our body is able to hold more light, potency, we start channeling the frequencies, right? So when this got fragmented, crystal healing just became a history. So people forget all about the crystal healing. right? So this is now is actually reviving back. It is coming back, and it is actually connecting with people and having an open invitation to actually work. And it's also a seed of remembrance. The seed of remembrance, and some of you, when I talk about Lemuria, like, you might deeply resonate, or some of you might resonate with crystals. So this is for all of you who are listening to this video today, is we all had lifetimes and we have forgotten who we really are. And this is an invitation to remember and how we have tapped onto these energies. So what is this crystal reactivation and healing process? So as I told you, now the souls are all being called back. And the crystals are actually stirring, they're coming up, they've woken, and it has got a purpose. And for us, it's about calling. So the souls which are driven or drawn back to working with crystals, nature, and energy healing, you're not doing this the first time. Just to share with you, when I first started healing many decades ago, I knew there was an innate intelligence within me. Like I knew how to heal. Like before, my teacher was telling me how you go and you do the next stages using a crystal wand or healing. I knew what to do, and I knew how to remove energy, and I knew how to scan for energies, and I had this already inbuilt clairsentience. But because it was forgotten and I had my veil, I never knew that I could work with crystals, right? So this is where the invitations for us, like, the calling. And when you are awakening, this is the awakening process that happens for everyone. The crystals reactivate as tools for emotional and spiritual balance. As I told you, the crystals are the best extractor of any negative energies, negative emotions. This they're so potent. And also the evolution. The humanity heals and remembers, and we are rising up to our crystalline consciousness. So the crystals have actually come in to help us uh, reawaken, and also in the process of being evolved into the fifth dimensional bodies and into the golden age as well. So I found this quite interesting. So what I was actually shown was that they're actually feminine and masculine crystal balance. So, and I've healed a lot of women in my healing practice and coaching. A lot of women, especially who come from corporate, they're very masculine, right? Even I had those masculine tendencies as well. Like, you have to be assertive, you have to do, because what we were doing is that we were looking at the masculine structure, and we were saying this is how the whole, after the 3D dimension, Earth has gone into the masculine structure, right? So we were thinking, so this is how I actually climb up, become a leader. So the women were losing their feminine balance and they were going into the masculine structure. But what is important is that we, as women, we need to balance both the feminine and masculine structure. Remember how I told you that, in Lemurian age, there was crystal practices, moon healing practices, and they were working with these crystals during the ceremonies. So this was basically to balance the feminine and masculine. And some of us also do carry deep embedded feminine undine from our ancestral, our mother's lineage, or even masculine wounding from our father's lineage. And that's when we bring crystals into our healing, it balances that. So you don't go into distorted masculine, or you won't go into a distorted feminine. So you are in sync, you are in balance. And some of the crystals I was actually shown was feminine. If you want to embody, if you think you're so much in your masculine energy and you want to embody the feminine essence, um, for flow, intuition, softness, receptivity, and listening to your body, like, the self-care, self-love. And there are some crystals which you can connect to. Yeah, the rose quartz, like I've got a rose quartz, got a heart. Like this was one of the crystals that I got naturally drawn to when I bought. And you've also got blue lace agate as well, and selenite. So this is a selenite one that I use with my crystals. But so there are crystals who embody the feminine energy and also the masculine energy. So this was something new to me when I was actually told. Like I was so deeply drawn to black obsidian. So I used to work and pretty much for protection and sometimes also a lot of shadow work. And if you're like me who have a corporate job, this is a very good protector. Sometimes you don't want to take in a lot of other people's energy in the office. So this is one of the crystals that I carry or have it beside my laptop. So when we talk about masculine energy, it's about action, structure, grounding, strength, and direction. So as I told you, like, this is more for women. Sometimes we find women more in masculine energy. Um, they're just having structure, they're actioning, they're grounding. It's all about strength, direction. But you also need to embody your feminine essence, right? Your feminine essence is also like working with your womb, like, some of the womb practices and bringing these crystals into aid of that as well for womb cleansing. So the other crystals which actually kind of love is the tiger eye, so which gives you a lot of clarity with the will. Let me see what I've got. One of that, the tiger eye, citrine, and red chef. So this is one of the very good grounding crystals that I've always used for grounding. It's one of the best grounding crystals. Like the other thing that I wanted to share with you is I've always been asked by my clients, do size actually matter? No, it is not the size. I do have like, sometimes I find it is easier to have crystals which are small instead of having very bulky crystals. I do have like crystal clusters as well. I work so much. I use those crystal clusters when I'm channeling, when I'm connecting to a being from a crystal. So this is when I use, but crystal clusters are basically heavy and you can't carry them around. So, and one of the advice I can give you, if you're thinking, oh yeah, why not I started embodying this into my practice, I would say go into any stores, crystal, but they should be ethically sourced. You don't want to be getting crystals just from overseas or from China. Nothing against China, but just you need to know that they are really authentic and they are from Mother Gaia. There's no point we doing and we paying for it. So I would strongly recommend go into a shop and feel what crystals invites you. Okay, so today we're going to prepare for an activation. So you're going to invite it to receive the Lemurian crystal healing activation. One of the practices that I was shown, which is coming back into life, is the crystal healing. So we will be working with the Lemurian Healing Council. I just want you to allow your body to soften, your heart to be open, and just your energy center to receive this energy so it can go back to its true nature. So we're going to work in this clearing activation, we're going to go back on clearing the crystal light as much as we could into our energy centers and also releasing what is no longer serving us. So we'll go through each chakras, and each chakra is also connected to original harmonic frequency. And we will also activate your chakra after clearing the density. And this is when you started slowly embodying your crystalline blueprint. When you start embodying more light in your body, your crystalline blueprint comes into active. So you are activated, you're aligned, and it's also a remembrance. So you're going to also reconnect, right? So because this is whatever I've talked about is my channel message that I've got from the Lemurian Healing Council. But we're also going to connect. For some of you, when you go through this process, you might feel a reconnection. You might feel that you're awakening something in you and activating something. Like, so I want you to fully set that intention. What do you need at this point? Like some of us, it might be just, I want to just work through my chakras. I want to clear, activate my chakras and bring into balance. For some of you, it might be also reconnecting and reawakening your remembrance in Lemuria as well. So feel what resonates with you, and you can set an intention, like what you want to get out of this healing today. I'm going to stop the share. I put in some music. Meanwhile, I want you to get ready. It's not too loud. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to settle into your body. Closing your eyes. And taking a few deep breaths in. With each breath, I want you to inhale deeply and gently exhaling out. And just dropping into your body, dropping into your mind. Your mind drops into your heart, letting go of any emotions, any thoughts, and feeling completely relaxed. I want you to visualize that you're sitting in the beautiful nature, And you're surrounded by beautiful crystals around you. This supports your healing, activation, and also your time in the Lemurian age. As you're ready, we're going to connect and call in the Lemurian Healing Council of beings to be present with each one of us, to support this healing and activation today. As you see, sense these energy beings coming into your space now. We're going to keep our spine straight throughout this healing process as we work through this activation. Want you to ground your feet deeply onto Mother Earth. I want you to feel the support and nourishment of Mother Gaia. And just above your head, you seeing the vast sky, the blue sky, the cosmos, and just around you, you feel pure crystalline water energy around your body. And your right side of your body, you're connected to the sun's energy. I want you to visualize the fire element within you. Bringing you into balance. The masculine aspect of our body and the left side of our body. I want you to say, visualize the moon energy, the feminine energy, the intuition, the flow, the receptivity, surrender. I want you to say all these 5 elements, bringing your whole body into the balanced state. The earth, the ether, the water, the fire, and the sky energy, the air element. Now on top of your head, I want you to visualize the single pointed clear quartz crystal descending onto your crown. As this crystal descends onto your crown, it clears any mental energy, fills up the void, it activates your brain cell and capacity to be balanced in your right and the left brain. I want you to see this single-pointed clear quartz crystal turning in a swirling motion as it clears any energies that is of a lower dense frequency. The crystal now turns into a deep violet, and it moves through your third eye, in your forehead, I want you to see an indigo, the crystal turning into an indigo color. Activating your insights to intuition, clearing fog, and removing any etheric web, bringing removing any etheric web from this energy center, activating the energy of your third eye, to see more in the inner world. And the crystal automatically spins and expels any energies, any blocked energies from this energy center before. It moves down to your throat center, the center of expression. You now feel the frequency of water energy in your throat. A lot of us are not in balance with the water element in our body. And now we see this master crystal turning aqua blue, clearing any block to your expression of truth, energizing this chakra, clear expression of truth and desire. Your throat center is now being activated. Now, this crystal moves to your heart energy, your heart center. Want you to visualize the crystal turning into a baby pink. The crystal repelling any energies and thought forms, imprints that does not belong to you, clearing any cobwebs of ancestral and limiting beliefs that you had taken on. This could be programs that you have taken on from your lineage, from your early childhood. I want you to see your heart center becoming bright and clear, and all the density being removed from your heart. You can also request for a healing to be done in your heart center now. What are you inviting to call into your life? A soulmate, better working relationships, good, supportive, nourishing, nurturing relationship for your life. Or is it just to embody more self-love and connection with yourself? Take a moment to set that intention. Now this master crystal moves to your next energy center, which is the power center, your solar plexus, and also a center of love for yourself. Could see the master crystal clearing a lot of old beliefs that is concreted or cemented on your chest. The limiting thoughts are now being chiseled away. Your true identity, your self-worth, the thought forms that I'm not good enough and worthiness block. I don't deserve this. Money, relationship, job, abundance. This is where a deep extraction is happening. I want you to just go in deeply and be open to remove and release any energies that's not serving your ascension process. The master crystal is now infused with the sun's energy. See, the sun's energy is glowing to disintegrate any thought forms. Want you to say, visualize the bright yellow golden energy there. This is a very important chakra for your self-growth and success. And we're going to connect with the citrine crystal for your support and increasing the energy and frequency. of your power center. Now, the master crystal is actually moving into your sacral chakra, the center of passion, origin, new beginnings. Although our passion needs a lot of fire and creativity, most of us are lacking the sun's energy. Yeah, you need the sun and the moon's energy. So the master crystal infuses the sun and the moon energy and the water energy for its flow and surrender here. And I'm actually told this is a chakra which is underused by humanity for creativity. Humanity is lacking connection to their originality and gifts, and tapping to what works for others. You have your own innate ability and soul gift and potential. And this center is about bringing your own gifts to ignite your fire, your flame of passion. And this center is highly regarded in Lemurian age as women connect to moon cycles for ease and flow. And humanity, even though wants to create, manifest, what is lacking is the surrender and flow. When things do not flow, it creates unease and stuckness in your body. Master Crystal is clearing the trauma, the procrastination energy as it moves through the womb and female reproductive organs. And something to actually ask for. Where are you shrinking yourself for the happiness of others? And see what answer do you get. This energy is actually stored in your womb. Where are you shrinking yourself to be in a relationship? The master crystal clears the energy in the womb, bringing in the infused orange light and the sun ray for creation and harmony into your womb, bringing the ether's energy to be in the natural state of flow. and connecting you back to the earth's energy. I want you to see all this energy is now being infused into your sacral chakra, strengthening, reconnecting you back with the elements, finally, the crystals move to your root chakra, the back of your spine. The master crystal turns a bright red in color, infusing the properties of stability, balance, and connection to nature and earth. When all energy centers are in balance, from the crown till your root chakra, the chakra connects the energy to Mother Gaia. So you see the single terminated clear quartz turning clockwise and anti-clockwise as it connects you deeper into Mother Gaia. This is a stabilizer energy. This cannot be achieved without the rest of the chakras being in alignment. The master crystal now moves towards the Mother Gaia and it clears any energies block on your physical body. And root into the Mother Gaia deeply. As the crystal descends downward, your body lights up. Your body lights up as a tree of life. It lights up, it glows into this crystalline, beautiful energy. And you see your chakras glowing as the rainbow light. You feel your energy centers are in balance. And your body is infused with all these elements and connection to the Mother Gaia. And you're bringing in your light into Mother Gaia for your growth and your potential. As we now come into a completion, the Master Crystal invites you to call upon the mineral kingdom, the crystal, to work with you deeply. And they've come forward to say that you could call them forward before you go into sleep. to connect to your crystal and to ask for a deeper healing and activation of your chakras. This is their invitation to work with each one of you to activate your crystalline consciousness and light body. I want you to slowly wiggle your toes and your fingers and bring your awareness back as you thank the Lemurian Healing Council and the Master Crystal for its support today. I want you to take a deep breath in to integrate these energies even deeper into your body today. So beautiful souls, I hope you've enjoyed this healing today. I just wanted you, as we are going through this integration process, I want you to drink lots of water and be also look out for any symptoms. Like, sometimes some of us might go through a deeper purge just to integrate this emotion, whatever this emotion is showing up for you. Just be with this emotion, feel this emotion, do not suppress the emotion. For some of us, our remembrance might come on, or there might be something even deeper for you to heal in your life, right? So this is also the way of your body telling you what you need to heal before you increase in vibration and frequency. Okay, thank you everyone for joining me in this Lemurian crystal healing and activation. Sending you lots of love.